So she already mentioned the requirements for a copyright protection in Nigeria is that it has originality. And just to summarize, originality doesn't necessarily mean that it is new. Like we said, that originality means that it is independently created without lifting of another person's work, but there's sufficient effort to be distinguished or to be different in that sense. So fixation, like she said, has to be put in writing or recorded or filmed or anything. So yeah, so in order for me to start talking about money, right, which is what I'm here for, I would like to first start with this, which is the exclusive right granted by copyright. So what makes copyright is that the author of a work has some exclusive rights. So the law gives them certain rights that only them can carry out. Nobody else can carry out except them. Now, the exception is if those authors decide to give those rights to someone, assign those rights, lease those rights, sell, or whatever it is, to somebody else to be able to act on those things. Now, there are several exclusive rights in copyright, but I just want to mention these four, because mentioning these four is actually going to help me to, they're the four that can actually bring all the works together. So, for example, the right to reproduce, right to make a copy, right, means is an exclusive right to an author of a copyrighted work. Right to distribute, and the word distribute there means to sell or to make available to the public. Right, so reproduction here doesn't necessarily mean, right, if you think about it, maybe music, for example, you reproduce a work, maybe a CD, but in the digital age, production means to download. So if you download, once you reproduce in a different format, so for example, if someone downloads a movie from online into their laptop, that's reproduction, right? Or just to change format or to create another copy of that is reproduction. Adaptation means usually for artists or script writers or novels or books. So you see all those movies that are turned, all those movies that were written from a book. If you watch Netflix, you see that this is a movie from a book. So that means that they've given the rights for that producer or whatever company to make adaptation. So I'm going to be using this four just to explain. Like I said, there are many exclusive rights, but I'm using this to explain properly to make it easy to assimilate and grab as to the monetization part of it. Right. One part of this monetization that is interesting is what is the word now? Sorry, can you still see my screen? Okay. What part is public performance? Public performance is quite interesting because public performance means the right to perform the work publicly. And for performance, when people think of performance, they think maybe I'm a dancer or I'm a singer who performs a song. No, that's not what it means. The right for that particular work to be publicly heard or to be publicly seen is what they call public performance. So for example, if you go on a plane right now, if you travel on an airline, if you notice that on the airline, depending on the airline you're going with, you have movies, right? You go to the screen of the airline and you see films. Those films that you see on those movies have a public performance license because that airline now has the right from the author of the work, right, to make that movie to be played in public. Now, so actually, interestingly, I saw a conversation just like a few hours before this training. A friend of mine, who works in one of the top labels in Nigeria, was having a conversation or was commenting on someone's story. And what that person was saying is that person is a radio analyst or a radio presenter. And the person was ranting. Are you trying to say that, for me to play a song on radio, an artist song on radio, that I should pay the artist Are we not giving them publicity and all that? You know, and I just realized that there's a lot of deficiency in knowledge in Nigeria. Because let me tell you something, a time is coming, and it's very soon. While these things are it's very important that we highlight it, is because there's a rapid growth in the entertainment space and the creative industry in Nigeria, especially because Nigeria is even a very important market when it comes to intellectual property. Because looking at the age bracket or the age, the demography of Nigeria, you discover that there are a lot of young people. And what makes young people is their creativity, right? The ideas. You see that even there's a lot of entrepreneurship. Now, this entrepreneurship always comes with industrial, you know, industrial intellectual property like patent rights, like, you know, trademarking and trade secrets and all that. So it's coming rapidly, and I'm very excited that there are a few people here, even if it's 12 people or 10 people, who are deciding that they want to get actual knowledge of it. So the truth about it is that a person is supposed to be paid before their work can be played publicly or can be made available to the public. Now, it's a different thing if you choose to release the work, say, oh, okay, you can do it and I'm not collecting anything, that's fine. But you have to understand that when public performance, which means you have a right to decide where, to decide when you want your work to be made available to the public, which is under public performance, which we can see at broadcast, right, digital streaming, radio channels, TV, etc. Right, they're supposed to pay the artist or the author of the work. I just wanted to lay that as a foundation because that will lead us to what we are doing next, right? So, right, although content creation or the term content creation is not expressly mentioned in law, right, but it falls under several categories. It can fall under cinematograph work, like Chukura has explained, literary works and artistic works, right? As long as it fits or it actually ticks the boxes of intellectual property, so, or copyright. So as long as it's fixed and it meets effort of creativity threshold, then as a content creator, yes, you can get your right. So let's go straight into monetizing. Like I said, I didn't want to, I've just built from that. Now, the first question about monetizing, when you think of money as a Christian, as a creative, what first comes to your mind is licensing. This is very important. What comes to your mind is licensing. And I want to emphasize on this very well. Because most times, many creatives do not know how to license their work. And what does licensing mean? Licensing simply means, if you can see my screen, it means the right to use. That's what licensing means. It means the right to use. Now, as a copyright holder, what it means is, let's imagine I'm an author of a work, and I'm a musician, I'm a composer, right? I'm a licensor. If I want another person to act on my exclusive rights, so let's pick one of the exclusive rights. Let's imagine that somebody wants to reproduce my work. And if that person wants to reproduce my work, what you call licensing means I'm giving that person the right to use that particular exclusive right. So it means if someone, for example, wants to perform my work publicly, like I give example now, let's say Qatar Airlines wants to produce or wants to air your film on their plane or the music on their airplane. So you're going to give them license. That's what it's called, licensing. It doesn't just apply to music. It applies to all creative works, especially under the copyright. So you give someone the right to use. And now you need to understand, anytime you give someone the right to use, in exchange, they are supposed to pay, or there has to be some form of gain. Sometimes some people say they don't want monetary gain or something. Maybe they feel they're getting any other kind of gain. But you must understand this, that it is your right, that nobody has the right to use your work, first of all, without gaining permission to use. And second of all, without paying what you demand or what you deem fit as your own right terms or of using that right. So what you need to understand here is there are types of licenses. The first one is the exclusive license. So it means that you give one person the sole right. So for example, let's give example of a record label. If you're a musician here, a record label has the exclusive license to the masters of a musician or an artist. Right? So it could be exclusive. It means nobody else in the world can use that thing too. And sometimes exclusive licensing can also include the author. So if you sign, you have to be very careful because I'm going to talk about contracts here today. If you sign an agreement of an exclusive license, it could exclude you. So it means you too might not have, you might be forfeiting your rights on that particular thing. I'm not saying it is wrong, but I'm saying you must know exactly what you're getting into if you want to give someone an exclusive license, right? So the non-exclusive license is that multiple people can use. So you can say, oh, I want to give, for example, an adaptation, which I gave example of. If I wrote a book and there's a producer or a director who wants to, convert that book into a film, which is called adaptation. I can decide that I want to give that producer, give another producer. I can decide I want to give 5 producers, 6 producers. It doesn't matter. What I've already seen that there are some, for example, there are some movies that we see that there are different types of stories in that particular movie. There's a version of Cinderella, one version. There's another version of Cinderella, another version. There's another person of just different kind of stories or writing fictional or real life story. There is non-exclusive license. It means I can give as many people as I want the right to use that particular work, right? So when you're thinking of licensing, what is the most important terms you must understand? And when I say terms here, I mean, what are the conditions that you must factor in? This is so important, right? What are the conditions you must factor in? The first condition you must factor in that if somebody comes to meet you, let's imagine that let's imagine that they're doing it the right way. I'll talk about what to do if someone is going about it the wrong way. But let's imagine that someone comes to meet you and say, I want to use your book for a film, right? Or I want to use your music for a film, maybe sync. What are the questions you should ask? And this is so important because I've worked with a lot of clients who find out that they gave permission to use a movie. Let's give an example. I had a client many years ago, not really many, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. She's a popular musician, but because of confidentiality's sake, I won't just mention it. Popular musician who, there's a popular movie that came out on Netflix, right? And then what happened was that they were friends. So the producer or the director of that movie texted her and said, hello, how are you doing? Please, I would like to use this, your song, for my film. Right? And the person says, oh, that's cute. Says the film is for a festival or something, and it's just for, the person casualized the movie. So she didn't think it was a big deal. So she just sent him, oh, that's fine. Sent him the masters of the movie. And then he puts it in a song, in a film rather. Now, after like 3 months or 6 months, you discover that that movie is on Netflix and is #1. It was #1 for weeks on Netflix. Now, don't forget that because of the casual nature the person had the conversation, you feel like, oh, you can just give it because we're friends. Oh, just use it because you didn't understand the scope. That's what I was going to say. You didn't understand the scope of the work, of the use. You didn't understand certain things. And that would always be important when you need to decide, right, how much to charge. It's also important for the work. So if someone wants to do a movie now, for example, and wants to put it in the cinemas, and the person is expecting to sell maybe box office. Okay, let's give an example, simple. If we can ask you for your movie, for your song to use in our movie, it's be different from if somebody who doesn't have numbers ask you, because now the reach is more, the demands are more. There's a lot more money to be made from that. So one of the first things you need to understand is the scope. The question you need to ask yourself that, what are the rights that I'm giving this person? What exactly am I giving this person? Because you can't just tell somebody that, oh, I'm giving you a license, and it's like they have the right to do anything they want to do with your song, or they want to do with your idea or with your work, whether cinematography, whether photography, because I was going to talk about that, but but the first speaker I already talked about that. I want to talk about photography and artistic works. You know, so let's say, for example, now someone tells you that maybe you're a photographer, and he tells you that, please, I want to use this your picture. The person comes to ask you, I want to use this your picture for maybe a display. There's a display going on, you know, and I just want to use it in the room just for some presence or artistic, you know, outlook. And then you're now going one day in traffic and you see that your work has been reproduced. Do you understand what I'm saying? It has been reproduced, so you're just wondering, this is my drawing now. What is going on? It means the person asked for a particular type of use, but then you found out that it was used differently from what you gave. And if a person, and this is what I'm saying, if a person should use, right, your work beyond what the scope of which you gave them to use, they can be sued, and they've infringed. So even if I give you my song to put on your movie, and I find out that you now carried that song and put it on streaming platforms, I can sue you, even if I gave my song to you, but I gave you for a particular use, not for any kind of use. So the scope of the license must be clear, right? You must ask yourself, what am I giving you for, right? If I'm giving you so that you can distribute, if you download, or if you do anything else other than distribution, then you've infringed on my other rights, because you've crossed the line on the particular extent of rights that I gave to you. So that's the scope. You need to ask yourself, what is the scope of the licensing that I'm giving this person? The second question you need to ask yourself is, what is the territory? Because it determines many things. Okay, if the person is in Nigeria, is the person putting it on Netflix? Is it going to show across Africa? Is it going to show across the world? Is the territory within Nigeria? Is it within Lagos? Is it within just a particular location? That will help you know how far your work is supposed to go and the things that you're supposed to demand in return, right? The third thing I put here is duration. How long? How long are you supposed to, how long are you supposed to use it for? Am you supposed to, use it for 1 week, 1 year? And let me tell you this, because you need to understand your rights. It's very important. If you give somebody a right to use your work for 1 year and they use it 1 year, 2 days, they've infringed 2 days on your work. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's not so the duration matters, and it has to be agreed. So if it's not agreed, if you agreed on a particular duration and the person extends that duration, then they've also infringed on your rights and infringe on your money making. You can make extra cash on that particular thing, right? Then another question you need to ask yourself, that what are the fees? How much am I charging, right? What is the compensation structure? If you say, let's give for example, that I just did for one of my clients, who is also a top artist, spoken word artist. Somebody said they wanted to put, there's a part of our piece or a composition that fits in a particular film. So they sent a request to use the work. And after sending a request to use the work, they said that the film was not a commercial movie. So the film was supposed to just talk about certain societal matters like depression. And there's a part of a piece that would actually make sense, that would fit into that film. So they said there's no money made from it, that there's no intention for there to make money from it. So I asked my client, I said, are you willing to give it for the cause? Now you need to understand, for the cause of this. So it means, because you just feel like, oh, it's speaking to societal issues, anywhere you can use it is fine. So I made sure I put it in the agreement, because I'm going to talk about this there, in the contract, because that's one part where people miss it, contract-wise. So me, I'm speaking from the legal angle. So I made sure I put it in the agreement. I said, if in any case, maybe something happens, somebody sees your film and says, this is very nice, can we push it to Disney? Can we push it to Universal? If in any case, this film makes profits, do you get what I'm saying? It has to be there. So even if we're saying, oh, I'm not getting any money now, but you have to envisage, if in any case this film makes any kind of profits, my client will be duly compensated. You're not going to say, oh, because you gave us for free, Now that the thing is making money, you said it's free. So we agreed clearly. On other times, I've agreed, oh, because of the reach, if you want to put it on a movie, when is the movie going to? You're going to put it on Netflix, you're going to put it on Prime, you're going to put it on this. Sorry, we'll charge 3 million naira, we'll charge 2 million naira, we'll charge 1 million, even if it's 100,000 naira. Guys, let me tell you something. The day you start making money from your works, there's no better encouragement from a creative when his work can pay his bills. And I'm telling you, this is something that you need to understand. When his works can pay his bills. Now, even if it's 50K you make from your work, it will encourage you. It will encourage you. And we need to stop all these things that say because they want to give you publicity or something. It's because you don't still understand the business structure of your work. See, let me say something. Every creative side has a business side. Now, and what was the thing that actually that encouraged me to go into the creative industry and entertainment law? Because I saw artists and creatives who were only particular about creating. And that's always the thing. It's a work of passion. So you're just passionate. You know, one of my biggest problems I've had with artists and musicians is that they're just vibing. They'll just go to the studio. Oh, we just the vibe. They'll just sing. They're just doing the beats and they'll just be vibing. And after a while, somebody releases the song, and everybody's like, I composed inside. Me too, I composed inside. Me too. What did you compose? Can you remember it? But sometimes we're carried away by the passion. And when we're carried away by the passion, we forget that there's a money-making side to this thing. And you must understand this, that there's a money-making side to your craft. And let me tell you something. If there's any musician in the house, I'll say this because it applies to you and many others, but let me just say this for musician. This is a principle in the music business. Anytime a song is played, somebody is paid. I'll say that again. Anytime a song is played, somebody is paid. It might not be you, but somebody is getting paid. So sometimes people think, oh, they're afraid to charge, or they're afraid to demand for fees. But the truth is your money is going somewhere else. Somebody is getting cash for what you created. And you must understand it. I must create a systematic way where your money, you can make or be compensated. I don't just say money for your work. So I put here, I said building wealth as a creative. And it's good that I'm saying this because many people think creatives don't have money. That's not true. So let me tell you something, and let me give you a secret. You don't need to be popular to be rich as a creative in Nigeria. There are people, I will tell you, people who are making millions, and they are my clients. I still close the deal for my clients, millions. People might not know her. You might not know him. You might not know. You don't need, sometimes people focus on they focus on, I understand that popularity can give you its own, what's the word now? Its own advantage. But don't first think, and you need to understand this, don't first think popularity. Let me give an example. Now, many of you have never seen me before. I'm a lawyer. I have my business. I have my company. You don't know me. I'm not popular, but I'm not poor. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm not broke. I'm making my money easily. And so the question is, are you not trying to tell me that if you're a creative, you have to be popular? There's no job in the world that needs popularity to make money. You can always make money. You just need to have a business strategy. And this is where people make the mistake, because most of the creatives that I know do not have a business strategy and approach to their craft. It's like any other business. You need to understand this. It's like any other business. As a creative, don't think that the world is going to smile at you or it's going to make it be easier on you because you are creative. Everybody's going to be like, as a creative, you're an entertainer, let's just be. No, it's business. And you must begin to see your craft as a business, as a service that you are rendering, as a product that you are selling. Now, the moment you begin to understand that, you need to understand that It's not just about me being, creative now. I'm passionate about what I'm doing, but then I need to find a way that my work can create an income, or can create, can pay me. It's so important. Now, is anybody saying you'll be rich in one day? No, you're not going to be rich in one day. There was a time I was working on a business team of one band. They're a band of 4. Many people don't know them. But you see, they've gathered their own crowd. Let me give an example. If there's someone, I'm giving an example with this band now. They've been able to gather through email marketing, through building a portfolio and building a community. Say they've been able to gather like 500 people. 500 people who attend their concert. If those 500 people pay 5,000 naira, how much it is going to be? Let me use my calculator. You need to start thinking like a businessman. Oh, hey God. I know people can't see my face because I'm sharing my slide, but so 5,000 naira times 500. You have 2.5 million naira. So let's even say that, that 2.5 will use it to settle sound, but you made some money. After that time, you can say, oh yeah, let's increase it now to oh yeah, everybody. Maybe after you've done it for like 2 years, 1,000 people comes, and those 1,000 people now can pay 10,000 naira. Do you get what I'm saying? That's 10 million naira. You might not have 250,000 followers on Instagram. You might not have 1 million followers. You might not have, do you get what I'm saying? You have 1,000 people, and those 1,000 people, they are your fans, and they are paying, you understand what I'm saying? And they're ready to pay. So the thing about it is that sometimes we've gotten into the web of the illusion that you have to first be popular before you make money as a creative. No. That's the first thing you need to get out of your mind. You don't have to be popular before you make money as a creative. You don't have to be popular. Right. So let's talk about ways, practical steps now, because I know that I already, when they told me I had 40 minutes, I said, what? How do you take this in 40 minutes? But I'm going to go quickly. What are the practical steps you can take? Very practical steps you can take. So the first thing you need to do as a creative in saying that I want to make money is that I need to create high quality content when it comes to money. Now, when I say high quality, I don't mean the aesthetics. That's not what I'm talking about. It's not the aesthetics. If you even notice, in this era, digital age and media age, you will realize that some poorly made contents go viral. So you cannot see a guy on the road, he just did a video on his phone, and he's just singing. And someone just says, oh, this vibe is nice. And then before you know it, it's 10 million views. So when I say high quality, I don't mean the aesthetics. So I don't mean go and shoot 10 million naira video or 20 million naira video or something. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying if you are a writer, write well. Be a good person. Sharpen your skill. So let me tell you why. Because the truth about it is that if you are efficient and if you are good at what you do, it's only a matter of time before you begin to attract the right people around you. So the thing about it is focus on creating high quality, marketable content. So if you are a photographer here, take good shots. Even if you are doing phone photography, there's phone photography. I know someone who is making cash from phone photography. No caps, really, phone photography, and is making money from it. And I knew when he started, he didn't start with iPhone. He just started understanding how to use Lightroom to edit pictures. And then he would snap picture with people and then edit it for them. He would give him 10K here, give him 15K here, do something. Starting small, but then you are, whatever level you are at and whatever you can afford at this moment, make sure that you are creating a high quality content that is marketable, that is good. So if you're a singer, sing well. If you're an artist, draw well. If you're a screenwriter, write well. Write scripts that are difficult to ignore. Don't do a mediocre work and expect that one day the light will just shine on it and it will blow. No, that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I've not seen anybody. I've seen there's a popular artist now, he's a gospel artist, and if I mention his name, many people know him. I became his manager 2021, 4 years ago. As of 2021, many people didn't know him. I would go around, I'll be telling people, I said, give this boy 3 years. I was very sure. I said 3 years. If this boy's name is not around this country, 3 years, because I heard his music. I heard the music, I said, no, this guy is going to go far. It's not because he had anything, probably haven't shot any video before, it probably doesn't have the best producer at that time, just probably his friends that would just vibe together. But the song was good. The song was good. So you need to understand that it first starts with the content. You need to say, just make up your mind. It's like, see, if you're a creative, you're not different from someone that is selling Zobo, or someone that is selling book, or someone that is selling shirt. You have a product. And people are only going to consume your product when they feel that the product is good. So if the product is not good or the service is not good, then you have problem with referrals. Word will spread if you do good work. Right? So start with focus on your work. Make every work you work on it like it's your last work. Do you get what I'm saying? Be dedicated. Work on it like it's your last work. Do it with all your mind, with all your heart. Right? And the second thing now, you have to be open to collaborations. So sometimes now you can't know everything. So the idea is this. If you know, most creatives that I know don't understand the business side. Many, they are about, I can say, just to be safe and not to avoid exaggeration, I can say 80% of the creatives I know do not really know about structure. In fact, one of the services that I render to my clients, because most of my clients are creatives, because me, I understand the structure because of my legal background and leadership background. So I help them to structure things. I help them. I was still talking to a client recently. She had a gig with a big brand, Hypo, right? A big brand. And then they had gone back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I just thought about it. I said, this is the structure problem. It's one document. If you put it this way, everybody understands your terms and conditions to work. So I fixed that. But sometimes, most creatives, it doesn't come to their mind to have that structure in place. So collaborate with people. And when you say collaboration, you don't have to start thinking of people that are far-reaching, people that you cannot reach, people that that will not pick your call, are too busy for you. Around you, you have one friend, that one can market, that one can sell. You say, come, see this is my music. How can we sell it? See, this is my art. How can we sell it? Sign a contract. Do this thing. I say, okay, let's make it work. If I sell this thing, if I sell 100 naira for one picture, you take 25 naira inside. If we sell 20, that's times 20. Start thinking like that. Now bring those people together, right? Use them and then grow together, right? They are business-minded professionals. Now, when it gets to a point where you need like publishers, I use the word publisher. Publishers are those who put out your work, who finds opportunities for you. Especially musicians. Musicians have them. Right? Managers, artist managers, product managers, market managers, brand managers. Now, all these things that you are saying, they are big English. If you look around you now, there are friends around that believe in you. If you look around, they'll just be like, this person can do this thing, this person can do this, this person can do this thing. Can we come together? Let's make something work. Don't be afraid of the money that you are going to spend now. That's what I'm saying. Look for people who believe in you. Because the truth about it is that if you don't take risk in any business, if you don't step out courageously in any business, then you're not going to be able to make money. So collaborate. I have a partner in my law firm. Why did the partner come? Because I know that because of my own church experience, I felt like there are some artists I might not be able to reach. The reason of that reach is not because I don't go to those places, right? So I find it hard, because it's just a clash. So I told him, I said, you're a Grammy award-winning saxophonist, my friend. We used to work in the studio together. I played for Whiskey, played for Burna Boy, and all that. And he won the song with Chris Brown, won an award, Grammy award, and then he played on it. He played for Pato Rankin too. So I said, you see, you have that network. Let's partner together. Come and be my partner in this firm. You go out there, you bring in those people. Me, I'm a guru with the law, with drafting contracts. With saying you do more music, but you're a lawyer. Go out there, just let them know. Give me the business card. This is my law firm, right? If you have any problem, bring in clients. Collaborative mindset. Don't just try to make yourself do it alone and say you can get it. Just have a collaborative mind. And once you start looking around you, you start to see opportunities. Don't just look at people afar off, but looking around you, you start seeing the opportunities that you can actually lay hold on. Right? So I said partner with fellow creatives, right? To share reach. If you want to do a display, if you're an artist, for example, you want to do an art display and only you, the bill is like 4 million naira. Find other artists, let's do it together. Now, the problem now is that people are afraid of being cheated. I understand that. But this is where contracts come to play. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I said, sign clear agreements. This is where it comes to play. Because say, hey, before you know that they will steal your stuff. I understand that. But sign clear agreements. Define your rules. Define ownership. As we're about to step into this work now, what is your role? Okay, I am the producer. As a producer, how much am I giving you? How many percentage you are? Is 15%. Okay, let's go on. So everybody understands from the start. You see, once you start to do as follow the flow, as they go, you get yourself to a point once money begins to enter in conversation now, everybody becomes an enemy. You'll be surprised how much people who were friends before can turn outright enemies because of cash. So from the start, once you're bringing anybody on board, once you have any business conversation, no matter how small or what we want to do, just tell yourself that, okay, once you start seeing that there's a business approach to this thing, and that's what I'm saying, if you want to make money, if you just want to be creative, there are some people that just say, I'm not doing it for the money. So if you're not doing it for the money, it's okay. There's no problem, right? I'm not forcing. But I'm saying if you want to make money from your work and you have business conversations, you have to sit down and discuss contractual conversations, right? Agree on things, draft a document, bring in a lawyer on board. I heard someone saying lawyers are expensive. You can find the one around you that can grow with you. You don't have to go and use the biggest. You don't have to use me. If you can afford me, fine. If you can't, it's okay. Somebody around you. It can even be somebody who is still in law school, safe, or somebody who is in university. You just say, my friend, the law, 300 level. Come help me do this thing now. They will help you. You don't have to be looking for the big people and all that. There are people around you who can always help you. Right? So you have to, be aggressive about your market. I said, well, register your works, partnership. If you have to do CAC, register. If you have to do trademark, register anytime it's necessary. So if you're doing a partnership with somebody, register it as a partnership and ask for legal advice, right, for that. So what is another part of it that brings in cash? Because I also, from the information I got, wanted me to also talk about branding. What is the other part that brings in cash, which is brand? But this is it. Many people, and I've had this because I'm a business developer, so I develop businesses a lot. I help businesses like build their framework, right? Contract, legal frameworks and structure too. And I've noticed something consistently, that many people think branding is logo and Instagram page and color. No, that is not first your brand. Those are the aesthetics of your brand, which is good. But that is not the first thing that you are bringing to the table as a person. This is what Jeff Bezos said. Jeff Bezos said, he said, your brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room. Your brand is the impression people have about you. So when you're not there, what are people saying? That's your brand. I hope you understand what I'm saying. That is your brand. Your brand is not your logo. Your brand is not there are people who have fine logo, work, service. When you work with them, the artists I've worked with, I know I'll never work with again. Let me give you an example. Cobans. Was it Coban? I think it was Coban. The first time he met Banky W. This was many years ago. Before Banky W did from Ibute Meta. He said he was supposed to do an advert. He came to Nigeria. I can't remember if it's Cobans. I think it's Cobans. And he said he had a meeting. He wanted to do an advert for a brand. This was many years ago. Many of you you will know. And this was what made Banky W blow. And Cobhams was already a big shot at that time. He said the first thing that he noticed was that, I'm just giving an example, I can't remember the exact timing. Let's say the shoot was for 9. Banky W got there 5 minutes to 9. Got there on time. He said, this is an artist I want to work with. And from that moment, he was deliberate about him and he said, I want to work with you. What of Cobhams and Asha? What of other people? Check it. It's an impression that they have. Now, you can't be, and this is my problem with a lot of artists. I deal with a lot of creatives. A lot of creatives have bad work ethics and they want to make money. See, credibility is cash in the business world. What people think about you will determine whether they can drop money. Okay, I'm talking about investors and all those things. Nobody's going to invest if you don't think that your work ethics is great. So you're going to, your brand is not just saying, let's not have a logo, let's not have this, let's wear black shirt, let's wear something. No, before that, there is something. And it starts with the people around you, because people that you don't know will not invest in you if people that you know don't believe in you. So it starts with that. So your brand identity is what people are saying about you. Just ask yourself that simple question. When I'm not there, what are people saying about me? So I wrote here, I said, branding is more than logos. It is your identity, it's your values, it's your reputation. Listen to what I'm saying. This is money conversation now. Money conversation. Cash. I can teach you creative conversation. That's different. How to create, that's fine. And let me tell you something. Let me tell you something you don't understand. There are nothing less than 200 Wizkids in this world, but there's only one Wizkid. There are people who are more talented in the world, and this is what I'm trying to say. In the business world, it's not the most talented people that get the job. It's not. It's unfair, but it's just the way it is. There are many people better than Wizkid. There are many people better than Burna Boy. There are many people better than Davido, many people better than Tane, many people better than Rasta, better than Rema. I'm telling you. But they have something that those other people don't have. And you know what the book says? Talent is not enough. Just the fact that you are gifted is not going to open the door for you. Even if your gift actually gets you into the room and people find out that you don't have what it takes, they will send you out of the room. They will. They will send you out of the room. I'm telling you, how many artists I've met that I've tried to pitch. How many people, like, we're pushing an artist, but the artist is coming late. We're pushing an artist, we call meetings, you are high when you're coming to the meeting the next morning. Or you are not. I'm telling you practical things. Or you're saying you're an artist, you draw something, or you are scheming. Once it comes to cash, once it comes to money there, you need to understand this, that money thrives on credibility. Your impression is what determines how much you can pull in the business world. So you have to, and this is why, what's the whole idea of artist management? Because you understand that some artists have tendencies to ruin the work. So the artist manager manages the impression of the artist. They manage what they want you to see. They manage how they want you to be perceived. You know, some people are different. You know, there was a time it was going viral when Rema's phone was seized because he was commenting on political matters. They seized his phone. I think it was 19 years old that time, or 18 years old. He didn't know what to say. They seized his phone. Oh, God, don't go and disgrace our brand. Do you get what I'm saying? So, because you need to understand that it is more than that. So people, they're managers, want to put out. And I have artists who will call me, should I respond to this? I had a public matter which came out recently. You know, the person said, how should I respond to this? Should I respond to this? That is branding. Branding is not just that you have a fine cloth or you wear this. It says, how should I respond to this? You know, I said, don't respond professionally. This is how I want to respond. This is how I want to put out the press. This is how I want to put stuff. This is branding. It's impression. It's an image. Do you get what I'm saying? So you calculate yourself. How do I want to be perceived? That is why those who bring the business to the music industry, the artists can be doing what they want, but those ones are particular about that. When they insult you online, your brand manager will come and tell you how you should respond, because that's the brand. That's the brand. Because it will affect many things. It will affect you're going to get the next deal. It will affect you're going to get the next gig. That is the brand. So ask yourself this question: what impression does my work and conduct leave on people? What's the impression they have of me? If I work with someone, what do they think of me? Right? So your character, your ethics, your work quality, your consistency, before you now start bringing in the aesthetics. The aesthetics will now come, the visual identity, your design, your logo, and then your color, right? So that's very, very, very important. So now, if, I'll just stop here because I believe that more things are coming from questions. If your copyright is being infringed on, or you want to enforce your copyright, I would advise that you contact the lawyer, right? You can send a cease and desist letter, right? Or a letter of notification, infringement notification. If unresolved, you consider civil litigation or report to the NCC, right? The Nigerian Copyright Commission are the ones in charge of copyright in Nigeria. So I would also advise, work with an entertainment lawyer who understands your industry. Start with someone at your level who can go with you. I don't wait until there's a problem, because the reason why people say lawyers are expensive, because they wait until there's a problem. Sometimes there's simple advice you can get from a lawyer that will avoid money that you pay later in the future. So don't wait until there's a problem, right? Until you now get a lawyer. You know, lawyers are not only for damage control, right? It's not only damage control that you need lawyers for. You need lawyers to also take the steps, the right steps, right? So, I'll just put this about protection, governing laws, copyright, trademark, patent, legal bodies in Nigeria, COSON, AVRS, collecting rights. Now, for example, because I wasn't, the reason why why this is important is that I wanted the questions to channel my some of my answers, because the way a musician will make money is different from the way a screenwriter will make money, and it's different from the way an artist will make money, and it's different from the way a photographer will make money. Most importantly, I just wanted it to be as broad, right, as possible. So like I said here in the last things, expand your network. Attend trainings like network collapse. Right? Your growth is in your relationships. So the more relationships you can make as a creative, the more money you most likely be able to make. And create excellent work. That's the foundation. And summary, and protect your creativity, because your mind is the greatest asset. So, but most importantly, from the legal point of view, licensing. Licensing is where you make money as a creative. So go back to your drawing board and ask yourself, how can I sell what I have? Who are people who are willing to buy, and start growing your business. Have a business-minded person around you. Have somebody who you can call a manager, deliberate on things, and then say, okay, what can we help, or what can we do with that?